I've been on this planet for 31 years, and recently it ticked over more than 50% of my entire life has been spent uploading videos to YouTube. This city has been on my bucket list for multiple reasons, and after 7,500 kilometers, I've arrived in Vancouver.
Oh baby.
An hour's drive out of Vancouver City, and we now have what I would describe as a picture-perfect Canadian postcard. The vastness, the space. This is why we're here, because the connection between the Bentayga EWB and the amount of space that is out here is absolutely perfect. And there are some amazing ties to Vancouver City and Bentley's pledge to be carbon neutral by 2030 and the renewable and sustainable energy that is in and around Vancouver. But today we're here to experience the EWB.
You can see the extension and the length that has actually improved the silhouette. I think it looks a lot sleeker, and it is beautiful. The color, the specification, the chrome. Have a look at the front. It really airs and oozes the luxury that you would expect from the EWB. And then we get in to the super massive doors. And this is the airline configuration that I've been enjoying. And when you step in, for the first time, we've got power close.
Well, this is the first time I've ever started a global media drive from the rear of a car, but this is where the magic happens, and I'm currently in the back of a Bentayga EWB with the Airline Seat Configuration, which is an £8,000 optional extra. And there is so much that has gone into the investment from Bentley to create the pinnacle of luxury within the Bentley brand. And it comes down to, it's more than just 180mm stretch. There is so much that we will get into in this video.
Even small little details, like the position of the panoramic roof in the Bentayga EWB is ever so slightly being shifted back so it's more rear biased, focusing more on the rear passengers.
But right now I'm being driven by Greg, who is head of digital and social at Bentley, and I've got a great reputable source that we are headed into bear country. So whilst we are going to be exploring the world of Bentley Bentayga EWB in all of its glory, we'll get onto that. Right now we're headed in with my cameras to go on a bit of a bear safari. I don't know how terrible this idea is of getting out of the car, because I've just driven past a sign that says we are now in grizzly bear country. We've got these huge mountains, the sun is shining, these trees are so tall. I just feel like I am living a younger self's dream of being able to come out to Canada and actually see these things with my own eyes, because this is something that I have dreamt of for so long, and it is exactly how I imagined it. Exactly everything is living up to all of my expectations, basically.
Just over this road we have got what I've been told is an eagle heaven, because it is right on the river where they can pluck some fish out of the river. I feel like I have seen this place on planet Earth when the salmon swim upstream and the grizzly bears come to feed. But right now, thankfully, there are no bears, although I've got a pretty solid zoom. And over there are a couple of vultures hanging out, circling. I don't know whether they're looking for dead fish. Pretty sure they're not going to be hunting for live prey. But yeah, there's a couple of them cruising around just by the tree line over there. It's cool to see them just hanging out and enjoying the weather. I'm going to try and get a little bit of a better zoom on.
So 177 pressure points. I'm getting a massage now. I didn't even ask for that. That's because it's automated, right? It's picking up over a 3-hour period in a seat our body's blood flow will start to make parts of our body numb. So if you're sat down in a relatively uncomfortable seat for a period of time, your bum might get numb, or you might start getting pins and needles in your feet. What Bentley have created, which I assume is part of this 9-digit investment for the EWB, is they've now created a seat that can automatically think for you and then provide a lower lumbar massage if you require it. And the 177 points will adjust over a 3-hour period to enhance your blood flow, so that when you arrive at your end destination, you are as fresh as a daisy. I've now got something else going on in my back as it's moving it around. And it's also got an auto climate control. So for example, if you have a warmer body temperature, or you start to feel like you're heating up in this car, then it'll start to cool you down. The seat will think for you and provide a service accordingly. We've just arrived at the Whistler Olympic Park entrance. There are all sorts of people here, and we need a ranger to go up and into the wilderness where the Olympic Park was / obviously still is. And we've just arrived 10 minutes behind the rest of the crew, who say they have just disturbed by accident a bear. So up front we've got Sherry the ranger. Greg's driving. I'm going to be on binocular duty.
So we feel pretty privileged to have exclusive access to this park here. All the little roads you see shooting off the main road are cross-country ski trails, and this is home to about 50 or 60 black bears that kind of roam in and out of the area. Unfortunately, right now they're more out than in, but we are seeing a bit of signs, so we are going to keep our eyes peeled today.
This is a pretty cool view. We're going to extreme lengths now to get the best view possible of what is going on in those trees up there. And I feel like I am the scout, the lookout. Need a pair of binoculars or something. But how good is that view? Just watching the Bentley and tracking it all on this terrain is pretty spectacular, with the mountains in the background. And look at this trail that we've got in front. We saw so many signs that bears were within the area, so I think even though we're going to be leaving the Olympic Park, we've still got a very good chance of seeing some bears. But it was impressive to be in this car and then see it from the Jeep, just how capable this car is, as always, off-road and on terrain that is not tarmac. And after lunch we're also going to experience how this is an uncompromised performance car as well. But the extended wheelbase, just adding that additional length, has elevated the luxury to a level that you really don't get from any other Bentley. And actually, luxury SUVs, this has got the longest interior, longer than the long wheelbase Range Rover and the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. And then I was starting to think, why would you buy a standard Bentley if you could buy the extended wheelbase? Because price point and spec wise, you can kind of spec one of these to be within the same region of a standard Bentayga. But with this being a 4-wheel steer car, the turning circle and nimbleness and agility of this car makes it that bit better to drive. So it kind of means that actually the Bentayga EWB is the car that most people are going to order. This is amazing. This lake is incredible. And we're now on the road, opened up, no one in front. And whilst the speed limit is still incredibly low, I'm actually enjoying it almost more than if I was to be thrown into a supercar and could just hammer the roads around. I'm taking everything in at a much more relaxed pace, in the complete pinnacle of luxury from Bentley, now just from the driver's seat. So we'll talk about the acoustics and what Bentley have now developed within the Azure collection to create an even more relaxed atmosphere. And that comes down to the decibels that our ears are hearing from the inside of the car, the road noise, the engine acceleration. Please don't tell me a bloody beaver has made that. But I'm distracted. I've completely forgotten where I was. The Azure collection from Bentley spreads across the whole product range and feels like, for the first time in a long time,
a manufacturer has developed clever incremental changes that, when formed together, can truly benefit the consumer who demands ultimate luxury. From seat auto-climate to clever technology that enhances more relaxing decibels inside the car, postural adjustment within the seats as well as separate air ionization systems for the rear cabin all merge together to create an unrivaled relaxing experience from the rear. All that was left, having travelled deep into British Columbia, was to catch a very unique mode of transport back to the city before looking forward to the next few days I had planned.